Hey, I hope you're having a great day. We're going to talk about the top 5 pieces of equipment that I think that you should get for a minimalist setup. They're relatively inexpensive as well. As we go through, I'm going to kind of explain what you can do with them and how I use them. To this day, I still use all of them. As usual, I'm going to put the chapters in the description so you could skip around because I believe that's really great for the viewership. And I know no one likes to just guess where the sections are at. So thank you for joining me today, and let's get to it. So if you're going to have a minimalist setup or just something very versatile, I would definitely look into getting rings. These are wooden ones that I got from my dad a long time ago, but you could get them in plastic. You can make them out of PVC. I know that there's some people online that do that. I'm sure that there's some videos out there. I'm not necessarily going to go searching for one, but you can do it on the cheap. And if you want to have some sort of strap system, those are relatively inexpensive as well. Pretty much as any strap system will actually work. You could technically travel with these if you wanted to do that. I don't usually do that just because I usually find a gym or whatever, but if you were going to go somewhere for like weeks at a time and wanted to bring these, put them over a pull-up bar or put them outside at the gym, whatever you want to do. But these are one of the most versatile pieces of equipment. As you see here, I've been going through and I've been showing you some exercises from here. You could do push-ups, you can do dips, you could do all sorts of things, weighted planks, just pretty much anything that you have your imagination for. You can do this, L-sits, all sorts of gymnastics exercises. So if you're gonna get one piece of equipment that is just really easy, relatively inexpensive, and then can cover a lot of bases, I would start with the rings for sure. Number 2 equipment that I would recommend is a jump rope of some kind. This is a speed rope. I've had this for a long time, but essentially it's just a cable that's nylon encased. One tip here is do not jump rope with this type of rope, a speed rope without shoes, because if it gets your foot, trust me, I know it hurts. They also make different handles to these now. They make the heavy handle, or they also have bearings in them so they go around a little bit faster, or you could just do the old school and just buy a good old rope and jump with it. So these things are just killer for cardio. You could take them anywhere. It's ultra portable. Double unders, they use these a lot for CrossFit, but it is a awesome cardio workout. This is one of those things that I think every person should have in their home gym staple, and they should use it. I know that it's one of those things that people just don't necessarily like using it because it is hard. It is hard to jump rope. You have to get used to it. You have to get in there and really work at it. But it's a killer workout, and it's so cheap and it's so effective. Next piece of equipment that I highly recommend that are really inexpensive as well are bands. So they make a couple different types. They make them with the handle, which is like this. They also make them without the handle, which is like this. They're both very versatile, and you can do basically limitless things with them. So if you have the ones here with the handle, you could just step on it. You could do curls, you could do shoulder press, you could do lat raises, and even if you have like a bar like this, you could wrap it around here and do face pulls if you'd like. I'm just kind of going through these relatively quickly so you can see it. If you have one like this that doesn't necessarily have a handle and you wrap it around a pole, you could do tricep pull downs, push downs. You could do them, leaning out above your head. The other thing I wanted to mention here too is I have this, which I use this for travel, is the Rogue door strap, they call it. I'll link it in the description. I don't get paid for any of this stuff, but essentially this particular spot here, you put it inside of the door when it's open, close the door, and it creates an anchor point. So then you could put your band or whatever inside of here and use it as an anchor point, high, low, middle. The other thing that's great that you could use bands for are rehab as well as warm-ups. So I know a lot of people, if they have shoulder issues or whatever, they will use bands for shoulder warm-ups. Also use it for tricep warm-ups, those type of things, but it can be doing some heavy stuff. There is a couple cons to these, and it's not necessarily going to replace a machine. So a lot of people will say, well, doing a tricep pull down like this is not going to give you the same effect as a rope pull down on a cable machine. No, I don't necessarily think it's going to replace it, but it is a great alternative for $10, right? So You really just got to use what's within your range and what is within your budget. But bands are very, very high on my list. So this one might come to a little surprise for some people, but parallettes, I use them still quite a bit to do mostly decline push-ups. These are one of the first pieces of equipment that I actually got to use in my setup. Some of it's because when I was doing a lot of push-ups, kind of doing more calisthenic stuff, my wrist would start hurting because of the position that I'm in. These things really help with that. These are the bigger version. You can find some smaller ones that you can travel with, but they're just not as versatile. These ones, you know, if you're first starting out, this is really great, especially if you have wrist pain, those type of things. You can do some push-ups here on them, and you can get some really good deep stretch out of there for your push-ups. You could also do them, let's just say, on your knees. You can do that from there. It's a much easier starting point because you are elevated like this versus kind of just being flat to the ground. If you want to make push-ups harder, you just elevate your back feet. And then if you have a weighted vest, you can put the weighted vest on and make them harder by having the extra weights in there. There's other things you could do from these too as well. Like you could do some dips, just put your feet out here and just pump out the dips. Much, much easier to get that pump. These things I believe are kind of underrated. A lot of people just buy them and don't use them that much, but I still use mine at least once a week, mostly for decline push-ups, so I can get that good stretch in. And I just love them. You can probably find them on Marketplace because somebody bought them, never used them, and they're trying to give them away for cheap. So look into parallettes if you haven't already. Enter the kettlebell. Kettlebell is probably one of the most versatile pieces of equipment that you can get. You know, the downside is if you want to have a lot of them, you have to buy basically 2 of each if you want to do two-handed things. They do make some adjustable ones, which is great. I've heard good things about them, but I've had one. There's so many exercises you can do with this. You could actually do more exercises with this than you could do for a dumbbell. You know, I don't know very many people that do dumbbell swings. You could do goblet squats with them, or hold it up here and do goblet squats. It's a really nice form factor to hold. You can do cleans as well as pushes. You can do all sorts of things with the kettlebell. It's one of those things that you have to have at least one in your gym staple. And if you get the adjustable one too, it's really great. I know some people that just do not have dumbbells at all, and they just swear by the kettlebell, and you get some great cardio. I don't know if you can hear my voice, but just doing a couple swings there, I'm a little winded. It's been a while since I've done them. So there you have it. I only did 5 today. I have some more like weighted vests and a couple other things, but you know, those are a little bit more like specialty items. I have a video on my weighted vest on just how it reduces my walk time to get the 500 calories in. If you haven't seen that, go take a look at it because it's quite interesting, and that's only with 20 pounds. So I think really to sum this up, you know, all of these pieces of equipment that I showed are very accessible to everybody. If you're going to go the kettlebell route, now you could find a lot of these things like on a Marketplace for a lot cheaper usually. Kettlebells, it's hard to beat them up. You know, you could pretty much throw them around as long as they're a good quality and they will still be okay. The prices are going to be a little bit different depending on what weight you get. Jump rope, that is probably one of the items that I would definitely get, especially if you're looking to do some cardio, some sort of like HIIT type of stuff. It's really difficult. And the bands are really like the bang for the buck. You could take the bands anywhere. I like the ones with the handles a little bit better because, you know, I do curls, extensions, etc. They're just more of my style. And, you know, the rings, if you have something to hook them up to, they are super versatile as well. So I tried to keep this really simple for you because there's so many products out there and there's so much money you could spend on this. I'm not making any money on this. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Please like or subscribe if you've made it to the end here. I do really appreciate it. I'm going to do some more videos like this that are just down to earth. I'm not a fitness influencer by any means. I'm just a normal dude that likes to work out, and I love making videos. So thank you again for tuning in. You all have a great day.